everyone. So today I want to talk a little bit about underpainting. And today I am doing a painting that is flowers as my reference. And I'm blocking in just some really basic shapes with a blue undertone for this underpainting. Nothing is super detailed. Nothing is really looking like what it's supposed to. And I'm just putting in some dark blue as closest to my flowers, and then as we work farther away to the outside edge of the canvas, I'm blending in some light blue. This is all going to be background and underneath everything else. Then I'm going to pick my colors for my flowers. Here I'm picking some warm colors, reds, red violets to go into my roses, and I'm using large brush strokes, not super detailed, just to start to fill in where I want these flowers to be. I don't want to mess around too much, and I don't want to over blend. I just want to get some basic brush strokes and some brighter colors over top of that blue underpainting. Now I'm adding in some highlights, some apricot colors and oranges to really highlight some of those petals. Now there I added some iridescent paint, and I mixed the iridescent paint in with the yellow, and I'm adding in my yellow flowers with big strokes and big blotches. So I'm just starting to fill in where I want certain details. So I'm making sure I'm referencing my photos. I'm adding in some leaves and foliage now with my paintbrush. I really haven't used a different paintbrush. I've used one paintbrush for all of my flowers, all of my leaves, and another large one for the background. I mixed up my green using yellow, cyan, and a little bit of white and iridescent paint mixed into that to get that light green color. So now I'm starting to darken in some of the yellow flowers by adding some yellow orange, and I'm picking out where I want some of the other things to be. Now that goopy stuff that's going on my palette is modeling paste. Modeling paste is super fun. You mix it with your paint and then you smear it onto the canvas with your palette knife, with your finger, with your paintbrush, and it is going to be like melted taffy. It is super, super fun. This is hard to control, so don't try to mess around with it too much. Put your palette knife onto the canvas and practice scraping it, practice dabbing it, so that you really get some heavy texture with your painting. So I'm mixing up the modeling paste with almost all of my colors to tint it so I can put it in with my leaves, I can put it in with the yellow flowers, and I can put it in with the roses. This modeling paste can also be painted on top of. It takes about 12 hours for the modeling paste to dry, and then you can paint on top of it with more colors. You can glaze on top of it. It just gives a three-dimensional look to what you are painting. You can practice by using different palette knives or different tools to put your modeling paste on. And here the last thing that I'm going to do with the palette knife is just going in and adding some dark shadows with ultramarine blue. I got a little bit excited with my palette knife and really started experimenting with texture and going over different colors with the palette knife, and I started scraping more onto the background And so I added it all across the background. So I really want this painting to have a messy look and to have a lot of movement and motion throughout the piece that's in here. And last, what I want to do is mess around with a little bit of the acrylic flow medium. This I can mix in with my colors and start to do some more drips. I can start to add a lot more of the wet acrylic and the flowing acrylic into my picture. So I really want to have this to be a messy look and to have a lot of things going on here. Lastly, I do a little bit of a splatter along the whole thing. So when you do your work, mess around with a lot of different techniques.